karma system in Dark and Darker allows you to up or down vote previous teammates. If a player receives enough upvotes, they'll receive a blue name, but if a player receives enough downvotes, they receive a red name. This allows others in the community to know who they can or cannot trust. So my plan was to ask some neutral players, red name players, and blue name players to swap gold to my other character and see who would honor their word. My one criteria for asking people to help was that I was looking for people with English sounding names, because I didn't want to have to bother with a language barrier. Honestly, at the start it was pretty uneventful. The first 5 neutral name players I asked to help just said sure and traded me my money back. In the end, it took less than 9 minutes to get 5 players to help me swap, and not a single person denied my trade request. Now we're on to the red name players. If the system is working as intended, I should expect to get my money taken, or to just have a generally poor experience asking for help. Well, after 3 straight minutes of having every trade invite denied, I found someone that would be willing to help. Just like most of the neutral name players, a very quick one-word response and the trade is underway. Well, he's not in the rogue post anymore. Maybe he swapped to fighter. No, not in that one either. I'll check barbarian next. Maybe his game crashed. I'll just refresh each trading post until I see him again. Oh, look who it is. He's in the fighter post. Oops. Well, on to the next player. Another 5 minutes of getting every trade request denied. At this point, it was taking so long to find people that were willing to help. If they even put my money back in the trade window, I just let them keep it. Other than it taking 20 minutes longer than with the neutral players, getting my money stolen once, and having over 30 of my trade requests denied, it went pretty smooth. Now on to the blue players. Again, if the system is working as intended, I should have a very pleasant experience here. The first person I sent a trade request to accepted, and as usual, a very quick interaction. Now, my cats were up to no good, and I had to leave the computer for 6 minutes. When I came back and joined the trade post, he instantly traded me. He sat there waiting for 6 minutes to give me my 200 gold back. Now, while it did take 10 minutes longer with the blue players than it did with the neutral players, a lot of that time was spent having good conversations or even helping them move loot around. If I had to pick a group that I would trade with again, it would definitely be the blue name players. I do have a couple closing points. Firstly, this video is just for fun. I wasn't really using enough money to tempt anyone into stealing that normally wouldn't, and honestly, you would need a much larger sample size to have any real meaning. Generally, people with red or blue names just think they look cool and ask their friends to give it to them, and it has very little to do with what kind of person they are. Although the people in this video acted pretty accordingly to what their name color would suggest, I think it's a flawed system and you shouldn't trust it. If you really don't have friends and you need to get items swapped between your characters, asking people in trade chat is the dumbest thing you can do. Just join the Collectors Guild and look for high rep people willing to help. As always, you're not totally safe here, but there's a much better chance you'll get your items back if you use his system.